Do you want to learn how to use Neocolor IIs in Hanna Karlzon's books for the background? Are you intimidated by water-based medium? Are you new to adult coloring? Are you new to using water-based medium? If so, this is the video for you. I'm going to be showing you how to create a background in Hanna Karlzon's Tales from a Forest Kingdom. And you already saw the thumbnail, but this is the page we're going to be working on. She is a beauty. She's not done. She's definitely not done. She's close, but the background is done. This background is super simple. It's going to be in a snap. You don't have to spend all day and wear your hands out using pencils. Here's the thing though, friends. I am imperfect. I am an imperfect human. When I went to edit the footage of this video, it's blurry. So the beginning part is blurry. All of me using my water brush and bringing it to life is not blurry, but the very beginning part is. So I know you're not going to want to sit through a video where you can't see what I'm doing. So what we're going to do, and hopefully you guys will forgive me, is we're going to start another background. I'm going to use the exact same technique. I'm going to grab another portrait. The colors that we're going to be using, we only need 3. I should have checked to see if this is in the lesser set. I do have the full set of the Caran d'Ache Neocolor IIs. So, and you don't necessarily have to use these colors. I'm essentially going to show you how to use 3 different types of colors. So we have blue, Prussian blue, malachite green, and Payne's gray. These 3 colors are all you're going to need to create this background. So I'm going to find another page, a similar page, and we're going to start a background in that. And then we're going to zoom, or not zoom, speed ahead or cut. We're going to cut to where we're applying water in the page that you came here to see. If you love tutorials, if you love adult coloring, if you love no BS and somebody that is willing to show you life is imperfect, give this video a thumbs up. Be sure you're subscribed and let's jump right into it. So I'm going to do the background on this wolf. So you might be thinking, wait a minute, Tara, we did a person. It doesn't matter what the subject is right now. Of course it matters because we're going to do the background. And I was thinking that background would look spectacular behind this wolf. So we're going to do the same vibe, but on this page. So I have to mask this off. You know what? I don't have to mask it off right now because I'm actually not going to apply water. I'm going to show you guys how I did this. Okay, you guys have a beverage handy? It's early over here, but I feel like I need wine for all of the stress. But I'm good. So we have our 3 colors. And when I'm thinking about the background, I really like to do what's called a vignette effect. That's where you have, well, there's different ways to do a vignette. You could do a vignette where the outside is lighter and it goes to dark, but I like a darker and it goes to light. So if we look at this background, you can really see how I did that over here and over here. And I also want to just say, because I wasn't able to do this in the original footage because the paper was wet when we ended, it handled water medium beautifully. I did not iron this page. It did not bleed through. And it's a little bit warped, but not really. And if I closed the book and let it sit even longer, my husband had a great idea. He said you can mist the back with water. I don't remember what the rest of it that he said to do was, but I would start with the misting and then parchment paper. He's here with me for moral support. That and then that would work, but I'm not upset about this. This is because it's not crinkled. And the surface is great. I haven't done anything else to this. I didn't fix the page yet. I'm going to. I am going to fix it because I want to not smear around what I've already done on her face. So I do plan on doing that. So let's cover you up, pretty girl. Okay, so we're going to do a vignette effect, and I'm going to do this because I'm a very distracted human. And when I see that, I'm like, oh, wow, what is that? I have that squirrel syndrome. Is that what it's called? Okay. So we're going to work on this or any background that you've got. Do you have your 3 colors? Put in the comments a crayon or a pencil emoji right now to let me know that you're following, you're picking up what I'm throwing down. One of the tricks that I've discovered with these, because when I first started using them, I hated them, was I was applying way too much pressure. Way too much pressure. So you're going to see what we're going to do here, but we're going to go in with more than one layer. So you can start from the dark to the light or from the light to the dark, but we also want a variation. So I'm going to start with the Prussian blue. And what I'm doing here, and another thing, if you look at the tip of the crayon, you see how it's almost like a point, but it's flat on one end. If you keep spinning it as you work, you never have to sharpen them. So that's just a really great tip. I like to very light pressure, do small circles. And I am going to make sure this is in focus. It looks like it is. I've never had a problem. I don't know what's going on these days. So I'm doing not quite, it's not round, not quite as big as a dime. Then I'm going to move over here and do the same thing. I'm going to come over here. There's no perfection with this. It's more, we just want to think about placement of color, but we're going to move these colors around and I'm going to show you that. And I also like to put like a lot on there. And I'm going to overlay right now what the blurry one looks like just for a second so you could see how I'm not filling in all the gaps. I'm not trying to go directly next to it. We don't want to just color this entire background with this blue crayon. You could mask off. I don't. Maybe I should. But we can get in all of these little grooves so easily and not even affect this. Because I did this. I did her first. And didn't wet or mess anything up even after putting all of this in. No fear, friends. Okay. Do you guys like Neocolor IIs? I do feel that there's a learning curve. But what I really like about them is you can lay color down so much faster than with pencils, although I am very interested in those Derwent ink tints. I know a lot of you, my new friends, have said I need to get them, and I do. There's really not a Black Friday special. Today is the day before Cyber Monday. So it's, I don't know, Cyber Sunday. There's not a name for this one. Okay, I went in with the Prussian blue. Now I'm going to grab the malachite green. And here, I'm not looking to go right up next to it. I just want to see what these colors look like. See, now that I've already done the background, I know what they look like. So I could get a little more aggressive here and maybe not even need the 2 layers. But I want to show you exactly my thinking process and how I did it the first time. And the other thing is, when you're picking your colors, you don't have to use 3 different shades, like a gray, a blue, and a green. You could go all green or all blue or all gray and just different tones of it. But I really want the effect of the color. You could also choose different colors. What I did do with this, what I normally don't, is I swatched it out. I will overlay another blurry portion of the video so that you could see I was doing my best to see how these 3 colors would go together. That is the I don't want to say better or smarter, because I don't think it has to do with that. There's more than one way to do things. Some of us are planners and some of us aren't. And sometimes I am a planner and sometimes I'm not. So I don't believe that there's a right or wrong way to do it. It's whatever you feel in the moment is what you want to do. But I did that because I don't know, there was a part of me that just said, Tara, just try it. But I didn't have to switch out the colors. These are the first 3 I picked out. I think if anything, I was more concerned with the Payne's Gray. Payne's Gray with paint, with my Alkyd oil paints that I've used forever, is such a wonderful gray. It's transparent. And which is interesting because I've had a lot of people ask me, why do I do layers with oil painting? Because they're opaque, so you don't need layers. I don't agree with that. The type of paint that I used, I could get a transparent wash almost like watercolor, but I also could come over the top and change the color completely versus watercolor, where you're kind of you're kind of stuck unless you're using the gouache. So I know Payne's gray in oil painting in oil, I love. And I was so pleasantly, I don't know if it's surprised is the right word, that I loved it just as much in these books. And now that I tried these in her books, I'm here for it. Like I want to just do, I wanted to do all my backgrounds with the soft pastels because I loved it so much. And now I want to do so many backgrounds just with the Neocolor IIs. Okay. So you might be wondering, well, this just looks like random blotches of color. And that's actually what I'm doing because the first layer is just about, do I like what I see? We're pressing so light and the paper is awesome. And this is the American version. So if you get this in another country, it's better. At least that's my understanding. So I'm not worried about it. Now we're going to go in with the Payne's Gray. And this, I don't really want to do so much towards the wolf. And stay tuned for how I color this wolf because my brain is going a mile a minute because I'm already thinking that this should be a white wolf because that would be spectacular with such a dark background versus like a gray wolf. But a gray wolf could be really great also and just be, it could even be more dramatic. So I'll have to think about that. So I really want to focus the colors more in the four corners. If you watched my fox tutorial, the fox from Johanna Basford's new Wonderful Wildflowers, I did a soft pastels tutorial and I really described in detail the vignette effect and the reason behind it. So if you haven't watched that, I will link it up in the cards above so you can watch it after this. Okay. The other thing is I don't want the color to just be in one spot. So I lied, friends. I said I don't want to put too much over here. I don't, but I want to put just a little bit. So everything just looks a little bit more natural. I find backgrounds like this to be so therapeutic because we're not doing something that has to be done only one way or you mess it up. Like we're not drawing this wolf and then it looks like a cat when we're done, or looks like nothing, like a blob. You don't know what it is. We're just putting colors behind it. I didn't color as a child. I would have loved it. Why didn't they buy me any crayons? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, and I'm putting a little bit at the top. I don't want a box around the wolf, but I don't want there to be no gray in these areas either. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking I'm going to add a little bit more of the Prussian blue just in some spots. This is not going to be enough for our first layer, but let me rephrase that. This is not going to be enough for the background, but it will almost be enough for the first layer. I really like how these colors look together. Okay. Again, I'm pressing very light. I'm not scrubbing this crayon into the paper. It's funny because when I first started adult coloring, what date is it? It's the 30th, right? So I haven't even been adult coloring in books other than mine for a month. So I've done a lot in a month, but I'm an extra individual. But my husband was like, what do you got crayons? What are you using crayons? And it was weird. Like at first for me, I felt I don't know, like I can't tell anybody that I'm doing this. Did you guys ever feel like that when you started? Like maybe a little bit, what is the word I'm looking for? Intimidated? Is that the word? That might be it. Just feeling like somebody's not going to take you seriously. Like this kid could not possibly be something that an adult does. I'm 51, so I'm definitely an adult. And it's absolutely something that we can do. Now that I know that this exists, I'm here for it. Okay. That's our first layer. Let me show you one more time. Wow. I'm going to keep going with this one too. You guys aren't going to see it right now though. That's essentially how I did this background right here. So then we're going to cut to how when I start applying the water, because there was only crayon on the paper and no water. So that's a good thing. If you want to see how this wolf turns out, click the bell icon so you're notified and so you don't miss out on this video. And I'm going to just start up at the top over there. And I really want to be mindful of her. So I think I'm even going to use my rag like this. I don't want to smear her, but anything is possible. So I'm going to start closest to her and see that's too much water. And I want to see what it looks like. I didn't even squeeze this. I did use longer ovals in the original drawing, but you can do it either way. Well, it's blending beautifully on her paper. I have only heard good things about it. If it gets onto her hair a little bit, I am not worried about it because I'm not done with the hair. This is going to be way too light, but we knew that. Okay. I'm using little circles. And I am letting it run right off the page, which is why it's good we have this paper back there. Okay. It might look like I'm using a lot of water, but I'm not. This is definitely going to be too light. This is why with the wolf, I just went and put a lot more on because I knew we were going to need to put it on. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. When you use little circles like what I'm doing, it really helps everything to blend better so you don't get harsh lines. Okay, what I'm noticing is I definitely don't have enough color. So I'm going to make an executive decision, and for the rest of this, I'm going to add more color. The paper, it's still wet, but there's no bleed through. Okay, so I'm staying away from where the water is. It's very important that you allow everything to dry. I'm not pressing harder. I'm just filling in the gaps as best I can. And this is the green. This is the malachite green, if I'm saying that right. The odds are probably not in my favor. It's going to be a really pretty color. If you're wanting me to give you an exact formula for where to put the color, that's really hard to do because there really is no perfect way to put it, like where to put it. Because you could do a gradation of color, dark to light, or even one tone, dark to light, instead of using 3 different colors. Just do the same family of colors. What I meant to say, instead of doing like a green, a blue, and a gray, to do all different shades of green. That could be nice too. What I would suggest is trying to veer away from feeling like there has to be perfection, which is really hard for me sometimes because I'm definitely a perfectionist. Okay, that is the green color. Now I'm going to go in with the Prussian blue. It really does lay down very nice in this book. And I'm putting my strokes relatively close together. This washi tape is really pretty. I could see using that in something like a pattern on clothes. I've not done that before. I've never used washi tape like that. I've only used it to mask, and only a few times. Going in with the Payne's Gray, and I'm, again, wanting to dedicate this more to the corner. I'm using small circles. Stick that down. The best thing I find is just to put the color where it makes you happy. We're going to change things later also and tweak things, so be sure to stay till the end to see how everything works out. Okay, now let's try that. Got the water brush. I'm not putting excessive water on here, or squeezing it rather. We'll just see how it goes. Yeah, I can already see the pigment is better. Can you see that? I hope it's showing up on camera. I'm not worried that we didn't do that there, because there's no point in stressing out. We're going to be able to come back over the top with another layer. And when there is a difference in things, it actually looks better. It looks less flat. I've not used Derwent Inktense pencils. They are on my wish list. I have a lot of things on my wish list. And I believe with those, when they dry, they're permanent. So you won't be able to lift it off. With the Neocolor IIs, it can lift. So that it can either, you can think it works to your benefit or it doesn't. It depends on how you want to look at it. I think for this, what we're doing today is only going to work to our benefit, because we will be able to smooth things out by lifting some off if it's splotchy. But that's something that could be fixed with the Derwent also, because you can come over the top with another layer. You can come over the top with another medium. Art goes through so many, I'm just going to call them ugly phases. And in my opinion, or at least with my art, that's how it looks for most of it until the end. And then it all comes together. So a really big part of it is trusting the process and just keep going. Work through that phase where you're like, oh my goodness, I think I just ruined it. I say that, but I did tear a page out of one of my books. Sorry, Joanna. If you missed where I talked about that, it was in World of Flowers. I actually hated that book. And I love flowers. Now I love the book. That would be a book I would save if there was a fire. The coloring confessions tag. That's what I picked, which is mind-blowing because again, I ripped a page out. But I learned a lot. And I thought about getting another copy because I don't even remember what page it was. But now I really love the book. I've never colored up until a month ago, really. Just a little bit, well, colored in anyone else's books like a month ago. My books for like, I don't know, a month before that, maybe. I do have, now I'm going to squeeze this. This is the first time I'm squeezing it, by the way. I do have books. They are, at the moment, combination of word search and coloring. I started that journey because my grandson, the one who slept over, somehow we got into the conversation of word searches. I don't even know how this happened because it's not something I've ever really done. But we got into this conversation and he said he's just really bad at them. So as soon as he said that, I said, you know what? We're going to make a book. And I didn't know how to do that, but I learned. And it started with that. And then I thought, well, I don't want to just have blank pages. Why don't I put some of my artwork in there as well? So I put some florals and different things that I had drawn. And that was my first book. And then now I think I have 6 books. I have a whole series actually on Amazon, and it is linked below if you want to check it out. But then I started adding more and more coloring pages. So it went from like a few to my last mixed book has 84 unique coloring pages. That is a lot. That's my Christmas winter word search coloring book. They are not illustrations like this. I didn't do like full-on portraits or anything like that. It's more simple, not exactly cozy, the cozy coloring. I'm much more of a realistic artist, but maybe slightly more, it's like simplified illustrations. I love it. That's definitely on my Christmas plans, is to do more work in that book. My husband and I take them with us when we go to dinner. As weird as that sounds. A lot of the things that we love to do, like listening to live music, and we love to dance, you have to get there early and get seats. So instead of just sitting there, we bring our word search books. He doesn't color, but I do. And it's so, see, I'm squeezing again. This is the second time. It's so much fun. And I've never done anything like this. I never colored because I didn't know it was a thing. And I was never really into puzzles, but now I love them. They're super relaxing. See, this is a hard edge right here, but I'm not worried about it. But look at how awesome this looks. When we build this up, it is warping, but we expect that. When we build this up, it's going to be fabulous. Because this layer down here is wet, I'm going to come up here so my hand is not across it. And I am going to use this as a little buffer. When I first started working with the Neocolor IIs, I was using way too much water. Like the book was saturated. I don't remember if that's what I did in World of Flowers. I think it is. I threw it away. I shouldn't have done that, but oh well. I can't go back in time. I was ready to just give up on these crayons. My husband's like, "You're using crayons?" Yep. I'm coloring over here with crayons. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's like anything else. If you never used something, you have to learn it. But the way I like to learn is just by allowing myself to get messy and by watching you guys. So if you guys have a channel, I've probably watched it. Introduce yourself below. I would love to get to know you better. Watch your videos if I haven't already, if you have a channel. It's just so therapeutic. I had somebody comment on one of my videos asking why. I think the question was, if I know how to draw, why am I doing this? Something along the lines. One more time squeezing and wiping. And it's because, yeah, I can draw and I could do it myself, but there's something so relaxing about no pressure, about having the perfect drawing. I can just color and not think about it. Just relax. Okay. And as soon as I bought my first book and I saw what's out there, I am totally hooked. I can't quit buying books. Okay, almost there. Oh, I really like how we've got the dark. You see how the dark is on the outside? This is fabulous. We have to let this dry. This is the part that I'm notoriously poor at, is waiting, because I just want to go right in, but then it's more likely it's going to be a mess. So we need to let this dry, and then we're going to come back over the top. Let's take a quick peek. No bleed through. The paper is definitely warping, but it's wet, so it would warp. I'm very pleased with the results so far. So we're going to let this dry, and then I'll meet you back here. I've let her completely dry. I actually just shot a flip through of a book. If you're not subscribed, you definitely want to be. It's going to be a really fun flip through. So I'm a little worn out from talking. But first, look at how warped the paper is. There's no bleed through. I'm not really worried about this because if I close the book and put some weight on it, it'll probably flatten. I could try ironing it. I'm not worried about it. I'm glad I went with the water medium, but I have let it completely dry. That's very important. Now we're going to go in with another layer. So I'm going to start with the malachite green, and I'm going to just look for where does it need more. It obviously needs a lot more color up here. So again, we're using small circles. I love coloring. It is just so relaxing to me. If I feel the need to zone out, I will put some music on. There's probably music right now playing. You know better than I do because I haven't done it yet. But if I feel like my voice is just tired right now, which it is, then I will put some music on and then meet you back when we're talking about other things. And if I change colors, I've probably been doing this anyway. I will be putting on the screen the colors that I'm changing to. It is so important to just lean in to your own creativity here. And friends, art for me is a way that I not only express myself, but it's really important for my mental health. I stayed away from art for years. I was so busy with my practice, with my family, and then I actually had significant health issues. I know that's not why you're here, but I can only be me. If you don't like hearing me talk, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry because I can only be the person that I am. And what I'm not going to do is pretend to be somebody that I'm not. I'm not going to be able to sustain that. If I have to pretend to be able to show up for you guys, I'm not going to keep doing this because my health, my life, my happiness, my joy is more important than anything else. And when I'm doing art, it lights me up on the inside. I'm trying to think of how many years, it was several years that I kind of veered away because I had so many other things going on. And I am so thankful that I'm here now with you guys. What do you think about this? How do you feel about this? Like, do you like this vibe? This kind of chatty coloring? Again, I can only be me. You can always mute me and speed me up. But I promise I'm going to share tips, tricks, any kind of wisdom that I have, along with imperfections and failures with you all along the way. In some areas, like up here in the corner, I am starting to press a little bit harder. I am not pressing hard, and my crayon is still sideways. I'm not going down like that, but I'm starting to press just a little bit harder. This is something that you're going to have to experiment with, and it is going to be by feel for how hard you need to press. Just know you're not going to mess it up because you can come over the top with pencils and make things look so smooth if that's what you want. If you don't get a good gradient effect. So I pressed a lot harder there that you can see, and I'll just do it up here so that you can see. Okay. This had a lot more pigment on it to begin with because we went in with it more layers at that point. I mean, just more of the pigment at that point. Even though the paper is warping, it is holding up really, really well. And it looks like I've hardly used any of this crayon, which is awesome. Okay, a little bit more here. Press a little bit harder here because I want to draw attention to her face. I definitely want there to be a variation of color. Now I'm going to go with the gray. This is the Payne's gray again. And so I really want to focus this on the very outer edge, not straight down all the way across. Varying and thinking about, even if it may not make sense because we don't see her body, grounding her with darker towards the bottom and the outer edges. So I want to leave some. When I put the water on top of this, it's really going to pop. Maybe a little bit right here. Come in right over here. And definitely up here in the corner. I'm pressing a little bit harder. I don't want it to be a solid block of color there, so I'm going to come underneath that blue color right there. And we are going to put some up in the corner over here. And right over here. Okay. We might need 3 layers, or we might also come back over the top with just taking water directly from here. I have a feeling that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go back in with the Prussian blue for right over here. I really want to make sure we have enough pigment down. Now I'm just looking for gaps where I didn't put enough. Put a little bit more here, up here. And I've never put it in this paper, so I don't know how it's going to act. And not every book, type of book, like other Hanna Karlzon books, may be different. Paper is not always the same universally. Put a little bit of this blue color down here so it's not just gray. I really like that. Doing the swirls is also going to help to give it more of like a watercolor type effect. So far, I'm very happy with this. I am so excited to get her done. I think she is beautiful. She's beautifully drawn, and we're going to have some stuff to do with the hair. Would you be interested in a series on portraits? Do you have Hanna Karlzon's books? I really do like her portraits a lot. Are there other artists that you think I should get? Please let me know. I love coloring. It makes me so happy. So happy. I am working on a portrait right now that I do have to get done for Christmas. It is a portrait of my ex-father-in-law who passed away. My niece asked if I would do it for my ex-mother-in-law for Christmas, so I do need to get that done. I'm drawing that digitally. I really like doing that. I like doing both, but I like doing that because I use such a high resolution. I use the program Infinite Painter because I have a Samsung tablet. I don't have an iPad. And my tablet is so good. It uses the Wacom technology. And back when I first got a graphics tablet, 30 years ago, I had a Wacom tablet, but it wasn't something that you drew directly on the screen with. It was separate, and then you plug it into the computer. So it really had to train you for hand-eye coordination. And that's how I did a lot of murals. And I was able to design things for people, and they can see like, what is it going to look like before I actually do it, which can be really helpful. Well, the reason I like doing this, especially if I'm giving it to somebody or if it's a commission, because then they can have it printed on whatever size. That's what I did with the one of my grandson and some other ones that I've done. If you saw my haul video, I showed a glimpse of that at the end. Go back and watch it if you missed that, so you can see it. But it really comes to life. I love it. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the Payne's Gray again because I just want to make sure I have enough of a vignette effect. As soon as we put water on here, it's really going to pop. So yeah, I'm working on that. If I'm being honest, it's kind of hard because I was really close to him. So I'm finding that one, it's really hard. Like I've done paintings of my dad, and actually I came across one recently and I forgot about that one after he passed away. Not the ones where I made him look like weird with like flames around him, or like, not flames. He was such a great man. I was just in a really dark place at that time in my life. I was very close to him and it really hurt. Like, of course, it hurts when we lose somebody that we love. She's looking stunning. We're going to go in with the water brush, and remember to keep your towel handy. I'm going to do one squeeze and I'm going to stay towards the top. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I am going to pat the brush periodically for a couple of reasons. I don't want there to be too much water on the page, but I also don't want to just smear all the colors together, because then we're losing the effect of using multiple colors and we're just making one color out of multiple colors. I hope that that makes sense. I love this. There is such a learning curve with coloring, because with painting, I can just go back over it and change things if I want to. And I don't want to say there's not fear. And of course, it depends on the medium. So I'm using oil paints. So I can come over the top, change stuff. One of the the things I used to do when I did a lot of workshops showing people how to paint animals. That was kind of my specialty. And I would be working on this like dog, let's say, and it's so much detail, so much work. And then I would take a paintbrush. The dog is almost looking done. It's not, but because I have so many layers. And I would take, loaded with a Payne's Gray or an ivory black, and I would take the paintbrush and go straight across the animal. You should have seen the gasps. Oh my goodness, you just ruined your painting. Then I would take a cloth and I would wipe it off. They were amazed. That one thing that I would do dramatically changed the way that people, the fears that people would have about messing things up, knowing that with the medium that I chose, the oil paint, you can come right over the top. That was one of the best lessons I ever learned also, was just don't be afraid. Just do it. Now, if you're using watercolor, you have to plan. Why am I using water medium? Because I don't like planning, friends. That just looks so good. What do you think? What do you think, friends? I love it. I'm loving how this is looking. I'm just using like little circles. I'm not pressing hard. I don't need to. And the little flicking motions that I'm doing like this and then wiping is helping everything to blend. There is a lot of pigment, which I wanted. And by me blotting, I'm able to soften the edges so it's got more of a rough look to it, which is what I am going for. I don't want this background to be a solid, flat color. But maybe you do, and that is okay if you do. I'm really liking how this corner is looking. Now, because I have so much paint, you can kind of see it there, I'm going to squeeze and just kind of wipe that tip off just a little bit. I'm being careful because I don't want water to get on her face. I told you I'm a risk taker. I really wasn't sure how the Payne's Gray was going to be because I know Payne's Gray oil paint is one of my favorites. It depends on brand, but it's one of my favorites. It is a more transparent color, so it doesn't look chalky, at least the way that I use it. And I was a little bit worried because I've never used these before, never used these colors before. I wasn't sure how it would look, and I love it. I really like this effect. You could come back in with cotton ball and blot some even more out. You can make it look like clouds back there. Going back to with me doing the oil paintings, I loved putting in a background like this and then coming back over it and making clouds afterwards. You could do it when it's still wet, or you could wait till it dries. There's just so versatile. But there's something just so magical about coloring. I'm really enjoying working in other people's books. I can't even believe it. Like, of course, I have no experience doing this, but I love it. And I'm learning about new books all the time, so I can't quit buying them. I love buying books, and actually the flip through I just did was so inspiring to me. There's only a couple of pages in it. I wasn't that keen on painting. Most of them I was. See, I went right over that. I'm not worried about it because I'm not done with her hair. This just looks so good. I'm glad I went with dark. I wanted something different. There's a lot of green right there. It looks good. See, I'm pushing. I really do love a water brush. See how that's a hard edge? I'm pushing again to soften it. I really love this medium so much. I like how this is making almost like a halo effect around there. It's like you have to be patient and let it dry, which I didn't do the first time. I'm not patient. Struggle is real. So I went and I worked on something else. Let it dry. And really, I am a patient person because I use oil paint that takes, the kind I use takes between 4 and 18 hours to dry, depending on your humidity level and the temperature. That is not a long time for oil paint at all. Versus regular oil paint can take 2 weeks. So I don't want to do 40 to 60 layers on something that's going to take 2 weeks. I do need some more water, so I'm going to squeeze and wipe. We don't want this to be wet when we're coming in. So why would I say that I don't have patience? Because clearly I do. It's just I don't have a lot of experience with coloring books, and it's just so different. I don't know why, but it is. Wow. What do you think about this so far? You want to do something like this live with me? I really want to do live stuff because I want to talk to you guys. I'm lonely, friends. I mean, honestly, I work from home. I'm pretty sure by now you know I'm a nurse practitioner. So I talk to people all the time, my patients. I also have, I'm a nutritionist also, so I have a second practice where I work with people all over the world. Because as a nurse practitioner, I'm bound by state. So I just work with people in my state of Indiana, but as a nutritionist, I can work with people anywhere. So I do a lot with that, with people all over, especially with those with autoimmune conditions. I'm very passionate about that because I have a bunch. And that's what, took my dad's life. And I believe we don't have to just accept our diagnoses, but I'm not your practitioner and I'm not telling you what to do. Okay, I'm wiping because there was so much pigment on my brush. And so anyway, I talk to a lot of people, but I'm on, you know what I mean? I'm their practitioner and it's all about them instead of me feeling, and I'm obviously not tapping into my creative side while I'm on a virtual visit. We're not coloring on my calls. I do talk about it. I do. When we're talking about joy and what it takes to really shift the body from a diseased state to a state of healing, joy is one of the biggest factors. And it is one of the things I believe saved my life. And now that I have found coloring, I am not going to stop. It feels really good in my body to do it. And I don't think I'm alone with that. And I am very chatty, so I hope that's okay. You might not want to hear all my sad stories. But you know what? They were sad. Losing my dad was one of the hardest things ever. And I lost my mom too. And obviously that was hard, but I lost my dad first. And it was very hard. I actually turned away from art for a while. I do need more water, so I'm going to squeeze, wipe. I didn't want to do art anymore. I had all these commissions, so I had to work on them. But it was just hard. And actually, some of the commissions, it was easier because they were animals that were sick or they passed away also. So I felt the vibe of like we're in the same boat, you know? The people that I was doing it for, I knew it was going to make them, I don't want to say happy. They're not going to be happy because their animal's gone, but feel more connected, which is really important when you lose someone. But otherwise, I just didn't want to just paint animals. I just didn't want to do anything with art because I'm like, what does this even matter? When we lose people that we love, it doesn't matter. I went through a really dark phase. I would say it took about 3 years. And then I came out on the other side. I do believe my dad helped me with that. He was so proud of me. He lived in Florida. Well, he lived, in Brooklyn with me. It's a weird story. Like, we were both raised by my grandmother and grandfather, his parents. And when I was growing up, he lived with us. So we were like siblings. It was a weird dynamic. Like, he didn't live with us the whole time. I have really strange family dynamics. But we were really, really close in a weird sibling kind of way. But then things did change. I'm gonna squeeze, clean that brush, and make sure I have enough water, but wipe. And so he lived in Florida, and he was in the hospital. I remember he was in the hospital for like a year. He was in a coma. He was in a ventilator. Oop, too much water. Just wiped it. We're good. And that's when the local newspaper did a story on me. I was their featured artist because I've worked pretty extensively with the Feline Rescue Center here in Indiana, helping to raise money for these endangered cats and just big cats. I did so many paintings of them. I love those cats. And so that he had the newspaper article clipping in his drawer in the hospital. And when he woke up, all he wanted to talk about with the nurses was me. He really was an inspiration to me. So when I went to visit, I went there a lot, obviously. He was so excited. He's like, that's my daughter. That's my daughter. Look at her paintings. I'm like, Dad, I don't care about the paintings. I just care about you. But it was art, even though I turned away from it for a while, it really did help me get through everything. And interestingly, I haven't been doing as much art over the past 10 years. I've really been focused on being a practitioner. And then when I became a nurse practitioner, and then my own health took a turn. And then that was really hard. Hearing kind of one of the same autoimmune conditions that he had and being so afraid my life was going to be over. And then I turned to functional medicine. And this is very recent, like in this year, really, I mean, I've done art the whole time, but this year, really, really diving in. And it feels really good. It's like I'm coming home. I'll be quiet. I'm sorry, friends, that I talk so much. I have a lot to say. I am going to do the same thing with the water brush. I'm going to finish this corner and I'm going to be quiet and let you guys chill and put the music back up. Better. Making sure I have activated. Tap, 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 push up. I like that. Did I get this? That's a little bit light. I'm just going to tap, pick up some of this color. I like that better. Did I get it all? I got inside of all these swirls. That. I think I got it all activated. I'm going to stand up and take a look. What do you guys think? I know the paper is warped. Don't worry about that. Do you love her? I got to let this dry, and then we're going to come in and we're going to put the finishing touches on the background. It's all dry. What are you guys thinking? I think we could totally stop now. I love it. You could go darker. And when we get done with the hair and the leaves and the blueberries, final touches on her face, it's really going to pop. But I do feel like this area right over here is just not quite dark enough. And of course, it's wrinkled. I'm good with it. So what we're going to do, I filled up my water brush. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, let me do this, set this right here, and I'm going to take color directly from the Payne's Gray, and I'm going to just apply it there. So see what I'm doing? I don't want to get any color. I don't want to drop water on her. So if you guys have never done this, there's no reason to be afraid. Or maybe we should. Should we be afraid? I say no. You're going to get a lot more vivid color by doing this. So I might actually not like that. might take it back. So I'm just going to squeeze it to let some water out. I feel like I lost some of the splotchy effect from doing it that way, but I'm good with this. It just needed to be wet. So now I'm going to go in with the green, goodness, what is that color, friends? Malachite green, and the water brush is wet and the paper is wet. And you see that? Oh, that's exactly what I want. This is essentially like a wet on wet watercolor technique. This is not going to take much. Like, I don't want to, oh, look at that. I don't want this area to stand out from the other areas on the paper and it just looks out of place. Take a little bit of that Prussian blue. Paper's already warped, friends. It's already warped. Just a little bit down here. Let me get back and look. You know we're going to have to let it dry. I am totally vibing this. I'm going to let this dry. We definitely don't want to overwork this. I'm going to just clean my brush. This is what I do. Squeeze. Squeeze. We're done cleaning it. How easy is that? Make sure that your bristles, that you just kind of try to make it get to a fine point. We used 3 crayons, and look at this. Be right back as soon as it's dry. Okay, I grabbed my blow dryer, friends. We're going to blow dry her. So, I've got it on medium. And I'm going to do the washi tape. That's my husband's hand. Oh. Heat makes all the difference with removing washi tape and not destroying your page. I highly recommend using heat. Ask me how I know, friends. Oh, it's perfect. Thanks, Tom. I really want to ensure that the page is completely dry. Just be careful not to burn your page. What do you guys think of her? I am in love with this background. Let's move that. Now, I am going to come back over the top and finish her because she's not done. And I might do some Prismacolors here and there, but I love this watercolor effect. I am going to iron this page. Do you guys love this? Do you hate it? Do you wish I would have used pastels? Are you inspired to bust out your watercolors or Neocolor IIs and just go for it in the background? She really pops with this color, and it's also not pulling in a color that's not already here. I am here for this. I hope you guys enjoyed spending time with me today. If you made it to this point in the video, will you put a girl emoji? Put a girl emoji in the comment section so I know that you made it here. Hope you enjoyed this video, that you learned something today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.